I want to bring up something else with this particular topic that I speak about all the time, and to me it's an extremely hot topic, and it's something that if contractors were to get more into a habit of, their projects will be a lot more successful, and that is a proper project kickoff from estimate to project start. And the reason why I say that is that a good estimator is going to be able to present the project. Personally, when I was estimating, I mean, I was able to understand if that job was going to have a lot of change orders. Sure. You could tell by the project plans, the specifications, the RFIs that were sent in. You could tell by just your experience of knowing the logistics and how the plans are laid out and just the scope of work and within a project, right? If you're doing a lot of underground work, you know that there might be a lot of change orders if the borings stink or if the borings are spread out too far apart, especially if you have rock socket or if you have rock items within a project, right? So a good estimator with a good project kickoff will be able to set up the project management team really well from the beginning. And they'll be able to communicate, and a good surveyor would also be able to communicate, hey, these are the problems that you're probably going to have, and these are where your change orders are probably going to arrive from or going to derive from, let me say. So at that point, you can start the communication well in advance from even having to get a lawyer involved as well. So again, it starts with a good project kickoff, really getting going with a good project plan from the beginning, and understanding your budgets, understanding where the busts may have been happening, or where the bust may happen, for example, right? So in addition to the law, to the lawyer guidance and consulting throughout the project as well. If you got anything else to add me with this topic, I'll move to the next. Go ahead.
Yeah, just very quickly, you hit on it 1000%. Your estimator and your project team need to be communicating on change orders. How do we get the change orders in? When are they entertained? How are they entertained? What do we do if there's a delay because now we have borings that are not done properly? Now we have to bring someone in who wasn't supposed to be there to redo the work. How do we account for that in our contract, in our bid? And when these events happen, what's our playbook? Like, there has to be someone on the estimating side talking with the project people on our bid book and how are we going to get that information up the chain so we're protected if we win this, when we win this job, and then we're not stuck funding this job.
Right. Just really quickly before we move to the next, I was talking to and it's one of the top inspectors of a $1 billion+ project. I'm going to leave all names out and things of that nature. And he had told me that the GC, the joint venture, put like $150 million worth of change orders in a big package and delivered it at the end of the job. And long story short, the documentation sucked. They waited way too late to submit it because you got to get change orders in right away. And the judge pretty much threw it all out. And the GC here is thinking that they may get 100 million, 120, hopes of the full 150 million, and got nothing. So it's really, really important to document and have good legal advice on your side as you're continuing through these larger projects, especially if you're a smaller contractor and you really have an aggressive growth agenda, for example.
And another, very quickly, something that's super helpful to our clients is throw me on an email. Just put me on as a CC. Once they see @lawfirm.com, they're going to be like, okay, maybe we have to be a little more cautious here because
their
lawyer's not active, but we know he exists, and he knows if something doesn't smell right, he's going to peek his head up in the moment.
That's awesome.
And it's like a business who puts their address at the Empire State Building because they bought they got a PO box. Oh, we have this whole law firm. Watch out.
That's a small tip that will have a huge impact. That's awesome.